Hello friends, welcome to an introduction for EasyBatch. We're going to be using this template and we want to make versions where we change the tricode at the top, the flag, the name of the country, and the color. So to open the extension, we go to Window, and inside Window, Extensions, and EasyBatch. And the first time that we open it, we're gonna find this message that is warning us that we don't have any Essential Graphics templates in our AfterEffects project. And we use Essential Graphics templates because of the convenience that they provide, right? So if you're not familiar with Essential Graphics, what they allow you to do is that they allow you to have your master composition expose all the properties from any subcomposition inside. And then you can create multiple versions of that composition without having to duplicate the whole structure of main composition and all the subcompositions below. To open the Essential Graphics panel, you simply have to click on Window and then Essential Graphics, and in Primary, you're gonna select your main composition. Okay, so we're gonna start setting up one of the sites of our team versus team, and I want to be able to edit the name of the team. I want to be able to edit the tricode at the top, also the flags. And for the flag, we're gonna just drag the layer and drop it in there. And finally, I also want to add the color that adds that little tint in the background, and the size of the text. Okay, I'm gonna speed through the other one. And now we're ready to step into our extension. This is how EasyBatch looks once you did the setup. And as you can see, every single property became a column. And if this doesn't show, you simply click on the update button. Now to add new rows, you use the letter N. You press the letter N in your keyboard while you're inside the extension, and it's gonna add new versions. And to delete them, you press backspace. There's one more piece of setup that we need to do in our template, and that is to tell the extension how to load the images, in this case for the flags. And the extension uses a pattern that gives you a lot of flexibility. Of course, you can load image by image, but you can also use the pattern, and this is what I recommend. So we're gonna select the base path, which is basically where all our flags are stored, is the folder that all our JPEGs have in common. And then we can see the preview at the bottom. And then we're gonna start typing the name of the files, which is flag, and then the tricode. So I'm reusing, in this case, the same tricode that I'm gonna type in there. I'm reusing that property in the pattern, meaning that every time that I type new text for that tricode at the top, it's gonna also load a new flag. Okay, .jpeg, and in this case, the extension is indicating that that file does exist. Okay, now we're ready. I'm gonna set up the other one. Okay, and we're done. Now, every single row that we add is gonna automatically generate that pattern. And if we change the tricode, it's gonna definitely import a new image. Okay, in this case, I'm going to add a new matchup, other countries. And in this case, the extension didn't automatically open the preview, but when we press the letter P, it's gonna open the template preview composition. And in this composition is where it's going to show us how our templates are looking. Now, some other final touches. And as you can see now, when we update every single one of the fields, it automatically updates the preview. And beautiful, we just made a new version for our template, just like that. So a big part of the functionality of the extension turns around being able to do bulk rendering, right? And for that, we can use data from another sources. In this case, we're gonna use a CSV file. I generated a CSV file through Gemini. I asked Gemini to give me all the matchups for certain competition, and he pulled that data from the internet. And then I tied that data with also the colors of each country, and that's how I have this CSV file. So what do you have to do to make it work? Well, the first row of each one of the columns has to have the same name that your properties in AfterEffects. Exactly the same. So when you import the CSV file into our extension EasyBatch, it's going to recognize that that data belongs to the right column / property. Okay, so let's do that now. Import CSV data. Here we go. Open. And voila. That's our data imported into our extension. Now we need to do some more cleanup. Probably we'll need to split some of those countries that have 2 lines, or maybe change the size of the text. But that's pretty much it. That's a lot of time saved. And now to set up our rendering, we're going to go to the tab output inside the extension. And as you can see, it works with a pattern too. Super easy. You just pick a base path, which is simply whatever folder all your renders are going to have in common. They can also be in subfolders, by the way, and the extension can create subfolders. So now we're gonna continue with the rest of the file name. And as you can see, as we update our pattern, we were getting a preview of how that is going to result for the first row. So whatever information we're using here is gonna give us a preview for the first row. And as a reminder, you can use the data from any property in that row to fill your pattern. And in this case, we're gonna do the tricot left versus tricot right. And indeed, our file path preview is updating to show us that it's gonna be inside the renders folder, and it's gonna be named, at least the first row, Mexico versus South Africa. The only thing remaining to do is to give the extension what format is going to use to export our renders, and we do that through templates. These are the same templates that you use in the render queue, and you can edit them in edit and inside edit templates, and here you have each one of the options. For example, in this case we're using ProRes 422, and right there in the drop down we can find our template and edit it. Beautiful. That's it. That was everything. Now we just simply click Start Batch Render and magic happens. And this is one of my favorite parts because you can see the extension importing the flags that we're missing and also queuing all those renders. Okay, and thanks to editing, we are done now. So let's see those renders. Let's open the renders folder and here they are. Beautiful. Yeah, I hope you're excited about using the extension. Well, thank you for your time. There are some more cool features that the extension has that I will cover in a more advanced tutorial, but for now, take it easy.